Hello there and welcome to my channel. I'm Marie. Today I am ready with a very requested video. It is how to make the flat slip stitch join. And I absolutely love this method of joining squares because I think it is the prettiest one that I know of, at least. It just creates such a seamless and beautiful finish to any granny square project. So without any further ado, let's just get started. So I've already made these 4 solid granny squares that I'm going to connect. But you can of course use this method to connect as many granny squares as you want to, and any design as well. So I'm going to lay these 2 first granny squares here side by side like so, and I'm going to slip stitch them together with this light pink yarn here. So first I'm going to make a slip knot. I will form a loop, place my working yarn behind the loop, grab the loop with my hook, and pull tight. And next I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop of this first chain here. So as you can see, I have 2 chains here in the corner, and I'm going to insert my hook into this one that is closest to my left hand here. And for this technique, it's really important that my working yarn is behind my work. So I'm going to place it here behind. And then I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop of this same equivalent chain here. So insert, then yarn over and pull through, and then pull through the last 2 loops here. The first one is a little bit tricky, as you can see. But there it is, my first slip stitch join. Then I will continue all the way across. I will insert into the next back loop of the next stitch and into the next one here on the opposite side. Yarn over, pull through, and pull through 2. Insert into the back loop, insert into the back loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And I will just repeat across. Insert, insert, yarn over, pull through 2. And it gets a lot easier with a little bit of practice, I promise. And I've now reached the corner spaces. So I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop of this next chain and into the same chain on the opposite side. Yarn over, pull through 2. So there we go, our first 2 squares are connected. So at this point I'm going to bring in the next 2 squares and connect them in exactly the same way without cutting my yarn. So I will just continue the row of chains. And again, with my working yarn in the back, I'm going to insert my hook into the back loop of this first chain, the one that's closest to my left hand. And I will insert my hook into that same equivalent chain here in the back loop, place it on the hook, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And I will just continue all the way across. Insert into the back loop of the next stitch and into the back loop of the next stitch on the opposite square, yarn over, pull through, and pull through 2. And just repeat across. And it's really just all about practicing, because it's a little bit different way of crocheting than you're probably used to. So it really just takes some practice to get this to feel right. So I've now reached the corners, and I'm just going to insert my hook into this next back loop of the next chain and do the same thing on the opposite side. Yarn over, pull through 2. And at this point is where I would normally just add more squares here to the width of my blanket. For a baby blanket, that would normally be about 6 to 8 squares, depending on the size of the squares. And for a regular size blanket, it would be between 10 and 12 squares for the width of the blanket. Of course, depending on the size of them. So I don't have any more squares for this little swatch. So I'm just going to cut my yarn here. Then I will yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook and tighten my yarn. And when I'm all done connecting the squares for the width of my blanket, I would just go on and add more squares here for the length of my blanket. So I would just do exactly the same thing as I did right here. I would do that for every row. But since I don't have any more squares for this little swatch, I'm just going to connect these sides here that are left open. So again, I'm going to take my light pink yarn, then make a slip knot, and again, I'm going to place my working yarn behind my work. That's very important. And then I'm going to insert my hook into the first back loop of this first chain here. That's closest to my left hand. And again, into that same chain on the opposite side here. So 3 loops on the hook. I'll pick up my pink yarn here from the back and pull it through all 3 loops. And again, I will insert my hook into the back loop of the next stitch and into the back loop of the stitch here on the opposite side. Pull through, and I will repeat that all the way across. And I now have one chain left here on both sides here. So I will insert my hook into the first one, then into the one on the opposite side, yarn over, pull through, and pull through 2. And to get over this crossing row here, I'm just going to bring my yarn to the front for once, then yarn over and pull through. So just a regular chain. And then I will just repeat what I did on the opposite side here on the next one. So again, bring the yarn to the back again, insert into this remaining chain in the back loop and into the one on the opposite side. Pull through, and again insert into the back loop of the next stitch and into the back loop of the one on the opposite side. Yarn over, pull through 2. And just repeat across. And once you get the hang of this, it's actually quite easy and simple. And again, I have 2 chains left here. So I'm just going to insert my hook into that next one, into the back loop only, and again into the opposite one on the opposite side. So there, we're all done. I don't have any more squares to connect. So I'm just going to cut my yarn here, yarn over and pull through. And there we have it, the beautiful flat slip stitch join. I really hope you liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure to give it a like and comment down below if you have any questions or anything nice to say. I always like to hear from my viewers, and I always reply to every single comment. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye bye.